Alright, welcome everyone. As we're ready to start our last day of the Open Qualifiers, we are in round 32 to start things off.
5 seconds
Day
remaining.
2 of the America's Open Qualifiers 2. So we've had two of them. We
Reserve
went through the first 2 days of day 1 of the Qualifier 1, and we casted every round up until the finals. Didn't cast the finals because my voice just completely gave out on me. But hopefully you guys were able to catch what went on in those grand finals. It was pretty interesting, but we already know that, spoiler alert I guess for the next 10-15 seconds, we already know that Team Freedom won that and knocked out the Elite Wolves, but we will maybe see Elite Wolves again, because I believe they're going to, if they win their match, they'll be playing the winner of this match.
5 seconds.
Yeah, we very well may be able to cast that game as well. We'll have to wait and see. Unfortunately, we weren't able to cast the majority of the earlier rounds for the second iteration of the Open Qualifiers, as I was a little bit delayed in being able to cast yesterday, and that delay was actually longer than I anticipated. So I ended up not casting anything yesterday. So I'm a little sad about that. But we do have all day to cast today. So
10 seconds remaining.
yeah, we're going to see a lot of Dota once again, and hopefully my voice won't crap out on me and I'll be able to cast the finals, but I guess we'll play it by ear on that one. If you guys are new here, first of all, welcome to the channel. I'm Niz. Welcome to NizCast. As we've been casting a lot of Dota over the last couple days, and we've got a lot to come. So really excited about that. We're going to be casting as much as we can today, but we're also going to be casting the main qualifiers as well. So if you're looking to maybe tune into a stream that's a little bit different than some of the other major studios, then be sure to hit that follow button. Yeah, beyond that, after all these qualifiers, I'm going to be casting the Dota 2 Canada Cup. Mainly that's just for casting practice as well, but I cast every Sunday as well for the Semi-Pro Cup series. So a lot of casting, and that's what we love. It means we get to see a lot of Dota. And no stranger to our cast is Team FNMDX. They're going to be playing on the Radiant side, and they're going up a team that, unfortunately, I've never heard of. San German Rejects. They're on our Dire side. And I guess we'll just jump right into it. We'll talk about the bans. We've got Darkseer and Beastmaster getting banned out in the first round by San German Rejects. FNMDX, they chose to remove the Invoker and the Undying. First pick was the Earth Spirit, followed by the Queen of Pain for FNMDX. Then San German Rejects, they picked up the Gyrocopter and the Night Stalker, which put us into our next round of bans, where we had Dazzle and Templar Assassin removed by San German Rejects. Phantom Lancer and Alchemist were knocked off by FNMDX, and then they picked up the Slaughterdart, and that catches us up to where we are in the draft. And immediately we've got to point out the fact that Earth Spirit's getting played in this game, and we didn't see him at all in all of our casts the last couple days. We have not seen a single Earth Spirit, so that's quite surprising, as he's also, I believe he's got the highest win rate. I might be completely wrong on that, but I believe he's got the highest win rate in competitive play out of heroes that get picked quite often. And Earth Spirit's definitely a hugely contested pick among certain teams, but we just didn't see it. We didn't see it at all the last couple days. But we saw a lot of Oracle, and this time we're not seeing Oracle touched, but we're seeing the Earth Spirit picked up. So maybe the meta has completely shifted in regards to how the teams are playing in the America's Qualifiers. Or maybe we just casted some games that were maybe a little bit of an anomaly. But we got our next two picks in. A Shadow Shaman was snagged by San German Rejects, and then the Lich picked up by FNMDX. So we can kind of... Oh, there we go. Abaddon getting picked up by San German Rejects. So now we can kind of home in on what the lanes are going to be. We've got Queen of Pain most likely in the mid lane for FNMDX. Slaughterdart probably the off laner for FNMDX. And we'll probably see the Lich maybe go with the Slaughterdart in the off lane. Earth Spirit probably going to be played as a support for a hard carry that they've yet to pick. As for San German Rejects, I'd say the Gyrocopter is going to be safe lane farming for them. They've got an Abaddon and a Night Stalker. We might actually see both those heroes in the off lane, or may just see the Night Stalker down there and they go with a traditional defensive tri lane with the Abaddon. But we do know the Shadow Shaman most likely is going to be up there, so they're waiting to pick up a mid hero to go most likely up against the Queen of Pain. And we see FNMDX banning out the Dragon Knight. So they don't want a hero with ridiculously high armor and also regen going up against the Queen of Pain. Dragon Knight actually does very, very well against the Queen, so no surprise that they ban that out. But as for Sand German rejects, who do you ban here? You've got so many heroes to remove. Luckily, you've already got Phantom Lancer and Alchemist removed by actually FNMDX. You've already snagged the Gyrocopter, so those are some of the big carries. And now you've just removed the Ursa, so scared of Fuzzy Wuzzy. They don't want to fight the big bad bear. But what will FNMDX choose to go with here? You still got Anti-Mage in the pool, although I don't think we've actually seen a successful Anti-Mage. We've seen it picked a few times, but I think it's lost every game that we cast in these qualifiers.
10 seconds remaining.
That's a little surprising. We've definitely seen a lot of Gyrocopter, both picked and banned. We've seen Phantom Lancer be quite successful. We've seen an Alchemist as well, but all those are removed. So who are they going to choose to go with? Maybe a Slark. We've seen a fair amount of Slark. I'm not really sure if I like the Slark in this situation. Maybe we're wrong and this is a safe lane Slaughter. We saw that and it's an offlane Earth Spirit. I don't really think that'll work out too well for FNMDX, but that could potentially be one of their trains of thought here. Either way, they are going to dip into the reserve time, and why not? You got an extra minute to actually think out your last pick here, so why not use it? Which is actually a little surprising that they have this much time left in the draft, because we've seen primarily the reserve time getting used in the second banning phase and or the third and fourth picks. That's when they're really a lot of teams have been using the reserve time. But they will settle on a decision. That's going to be the Razor. The Razor will do quite well against that Night Stalker Abaddon duo offlane, or even if it's just a Night Stalker, it'll do certainly well against that. Night Stalker really doesn't like Razor. You can't go on him because when you hit him with a Void and slow him, you get purged anyways, and you're slowed, so it doesn't really help you close the gap on Razor.
10 seconds
So Night Stalker doesn't particularly do too well on Razor, and even still, Razor or Night Stalker, if he wants to try to run in and go on a different target, they can get pulled by Earth Spirit if it gets his Aghanim Scepter. That's probably going to be a little bit ways into the game before he gets that. But even if he tries to run on Lich or tries to run on Earth Spirit and silence him up, the Razor can just be there sucking away all the damage from the Night Stalker, which makes it very, very difficult. And they're going to go with a Puck here to counter the Queen of Pain in the mid lane. One of the older style counters to Queen of Pain. Of course, you can phase shift the dagger, which creates an interesting little metagame between Queen of Pain's going up against Puck, because now we'll probably won't see the Queen of Pain actually skill dagger because of the phase shift. But we will have that really standard matchup in the mid lane. We've seen a little bit of Puck, but we actually haven't seen it be too successful. Of course, Alliance has been playing it a lot. They played it at WCA. Of course, it's one of S4's signature heroes, although it's been removed from the meta for quite some time. But he's back to playing that.
10 seconds remaining.
But it does suit itself to be a much more aggressive style hero. And take a look at some of the other heroes on SGR. And they've got the Night Stalker, who, as soon as that first nighttime hits at 4 minutes, he wants to be moving around, getting a first, maybe even a second gank. And then once we hit that second nighttime as well, that's when he really wants to start snowballing and getting out of control. Then on top of that, your safe lane farmer is a Gyrocopter, which as soon as you hit 6, typically goes and groups up with the team. Once he has that call down, he's able to participate and really do some serious damage in the team fights. You might even see them hit 6 and then just go and smoke and go for a gank, which is something we certainly see quite a bit by Gyros. But either way, we know that they're probably going to be looking to fight and take some towers early. They got Roster to back that up as well with Serpent Wards. Abaddon gives them a lot of sustain in the fights. And FNMDX, they're a little bit slow to get going in terms of their lineup. Obviously, if Queen of Pain has a good laning phase and gets some good XP under her belt, then she's going to be very strong at those early game engagements. Slardar needs his core items. He needs to get a little bit before he gets really strong. Razor, same kind of deal. He wants a few items under his belt before he's really going to be super strong in the fights, because he needs to be able to step up and just stand in the middle of fights, and without any items it's very difficult to do so. And one thing that they've got going for them is the Lich. The Lich is going to be able to deny a lot of XP from the safe lane, so the Gyrocopter is going to hit that level 6 a little bit later, assuming the Lich is up in the top lane, helping the Slardar get a little bit more farm. But it looks like I may be completely wrong, as we've got Slardar moving down here. But I'll quickly introduce the teams and our players, as we've got on the Radiant side, Team FNMDX, we got Showstopper playing the Queen of Pain, Dig's going to be playing the Earth Spirit, Zing is going to be playing the Slardar, Jay is going to be on the Razor, and Monster is going to be on the Lich. As for Dire side, it's the San German Rejects, SGR. We've got L playing the Abaddon. We got Mr. Simple on the Puck. We got Xiaoto, TNG. I hope I'm saying that right, playing the Night Stalker. We got Nada playing the Gyrocopter. And Werter is going to be playing the Shadow Shaman. We do have Boots First on the Night Stalker. He's actually the only one to start with Boots First. Sometimes we will see the Shadow Shaman start with Boots First, but he looks to have purchased a bunch of the support items, more so than the Abaddon, which is a little bit surprising.
Great conductor.
But we've got our first runes getting picked up, as Mr. Simple on the Puck's going to get the top one. The bottom one's actually not going to go... Oh, interesting. It is going to go to the mid laner. It went to the Razor, who will be going mid up against the Puck. So interesting rotation of lanes. And what it's done is created, well, some very different lanes. We're going to have the Slardar, which we expected to be off lane with the Lich. That's going to rotate down towards the bottom lane, so Slardar is going to be down there by himself. We've got Razor in the mid lane going up against the Puck, and Lich is there to start to block, but we don't know exactly where he's going to stay. He might actually stay in the mid lane to help the Razor get a good start. But that slides the Queen of Pain up into the top lane, where he's going to be supported by the Earth Spirit. So we're going to have an off-lane Queen of Pain, but expect that to get a little bit more CS than you typically would expect from an off-laner. As for SGR, it doesn't look like they've changed their lanes yet to adjust to what we're seeing coming out from FNMDX. It does look like maybe the Abaddon is not going to be a support. We're going to have the Night Stalker play position 4, and the Abaddon's going to go the offlaner, which makes a little bit more sense with the kind of starting items and the Boots First on the Night Stalker instead of the Shadow Shaman. That makes a lot more sense. So we will have position 4 Night Stalker and position 5 Shadow Shaman. But it looks like both of those are going to be probably up in the top lane to try and help the Gyro out. Because, well, this duo offlane isn't going to be too weak for FNMDX, and it should be able to contest Gyro's farm quite a bit unless the Night Stalker stays up there. Fortunately, we do have this kind of extended pause, as it's pause from the Dire side, so hopefully they'll get that all sorted out, as G's are getting called by the Radiant side, so they're ready to go, but still waiting on the Dire, so hopefully it won't be too long for us. So I had the items up. I'll bring them back up now. As for our starting items, I don't really see anything too surprising or too out there. We do have a set of sentries purchased by the Lich to start things off. As we've only got, well, each team has placed 1 observer ward, I think. No, we got 2 placed by the Radiant side, and we've got the G to go ahead. They've got 1 blocking the camp. They got another one actually defending their safe lane. A little bit surprising there. Dire side, they've got 1 in the top lane as well. Just spotting out the lane there, protecting their safe lane as well. And then there we go. The final one gets purchased, or gets placed by the Abaddon in the bottom lane to help secure him against the Abaddon, or against the Slardar. As for our lanes, looks like the Lich did not stick around in the mid lane. He headed down to the bottom lane, but we do have action up here in the top lane, as Dig has been slowed down by the Night Stalker, but he'll just roll away, so he'll be fine. As Werter and Xiaoto try to harass back these dual offlane coming out from FNMDX, and here they come again, as they're going to try to slow them down. Dig has to be a little bit more careful But he does have that roll to get back to safety. And Showstopper doesn't have Blink just yet. Still level 1, so he just has the dagger. Which I don't think he's actually revealed that to them yet. There it goes now. As they're going to roll forward, they sense blood here. And they're going to get first blood as they drop the Night Stalker. They will lose Dig in the process, but first blood definitely going to be a little bit more valuable to them there. The early advantage goes the way of FNMDX. The Gyrocopter had to stay back in the lane and get some of that CS, and unfortunately wasn't able to come up and participate in the fight. He actually hasn't skilled anything yet, just holding on to his points. As for our mid lane, looks like Razor's taking a little bit of damage. Mr. Simple taking a little bit, but significantly less. But take a look at the CS. We've got 0. In fact, that was actually his first CS there on the puck, as he gets a second one as well. But Razor's at 10 and 6, count at 11 and 6. So he is just completely dominating this mid lane, but he needs to be careful. The 2 supports have just rotated down. But no, they get the top bounty rune and then they go away. Bottom rune is an invis rune, but is yet to be picked up by anyone. As for our bottom lane, how's Abaddon doing down here? He's sitting at 3-1, and now he's going to go get that invis, so that'll allow him to at least soak some XP in the bottom lane. Slaughter seems to be free farming, but his CS could be better. It's only 9 and 7 right now. So he's got some good denies there, but his last hits have fallen a little bit behind the opposing safe laner, as the Gyrocopter's up at 13 and 4. So we're not going to see the Lich up in the top lane denying that XP from the Gyrocopter and from this tri-lane. Instead, it's going to be mainly denying the XP from the Abaddon. But what it also does is with Lich being down here, it's going to do quite well against this Abaddon, making sure that he's not able to get as much as he'd really like in this off lane. And Monster does have to be careful of the boots timing. Both of these heroes actually do have enough gold for boots, but Monster may end up buying more supporting items for the team, upgrading the courier, that kind of thing, in which case we will have a boots advantage for the Abaddon. In fact, Abaddon has just purchased his boots, and Lich doesn't have his, so Monster is going to look to have to pick those up soon. Otherwise, Abaddon's really going to be able to just kind of run at him and force the Slaughter to come and help the Lich, or force the Lich to just go somewhere else, because he can't deal with the Abaddon once he falls behind in move speed. But we're already 4 minutes in, and the courier has been upgraded just now by the Lich, so he doesn't have enough gold for his boots. But he's not that far out. He's 350 gold right now, and he's going to pick up a haste rune. A little unfortunate for him. I'm sure he would have loved to have a bounty rune there. That's going to spawn in the top location, as Night Stalker's going to come here and just protect it for the puck, as Mr. Simple's going to rotate in.
Middle tower is under attack.
So far in the top lane, Showstoppers managed 6 and 2 CS. I would have expected them to maybe be able to contest a little bit more, but the Night Stalkers have really been up there trying to shut them down. The Gyro's up at 22 and 6. So he's been able to find the farm, and they certainly haven't been able to really limit the Gyro from farming. I do worry a little bit that maybe the Queen of Pain isn't getting enough. I would have just gotten more in the mid lane, but nice little kick there from Dig, making sure that Showstopper isn't going to get gone on him. Oh my goodness, that rocket did so much damage. That is not something you expect. 3 points in a rocket, 1-3-1 build from the Gyrocopter.
Denied.
As Showstopper actually turned around to get hit by the rocket. I'm not sure if he knew the skill build coming out from that Gyrocopter. Maybe he was doing it so that he took less damage from that rocket. But I don't think he expected it to chunk his HP pool like that. That was ridiculous. But now Monster's actually made his way up here, and he's bought some more supporting items, so he doesn't have those boots still, and that means he's probably not going to be able to go back down to the bottom lane. Although he is making a rotation. I'll really look to see how L plays this Abaddon if the Lich chooses to come down there. This offlane Abaddon is something that's really been popularized recently by Logan Bupt, I believe is his name. Logan Bupt at Grace. He's, I think, number 3 or 4 on the America's leaderboards now, but he just was climbing through the ranks, playing a lot of offlane Abaddon, a lot of offlane... Man, that's hard to say. A lot of offlane Omni Knight. There we go. as well, and he just catapulted
Dire's
up
middle
through the
tower
ranks.
is
And
under
a lot of
attack.
people were wondering when he first started showing up in some of the on some of the streams of some of the pro players as they were practicing, like, who the heck is this guy? Is it someone Smurf? And Monster, you're in trouble, buddy, as he's going to get caught with Shackle, and they will be able to finish him off. The Night Stalker getting the last hit on that one. But good rotation coming out from SGR here. Both these supports have, they have tried to make these rotations, and we haven't really seen it work. They made made one rotation towards mid, but weren't able to go on the Razor. But that one was successful for them, as they do get a pick off one. It's just a lich, but still, it's a worthwhile kill. Certainly in the early game, if you can limit some of the gold acquired by the opposing team. As Jay's going to get going on here, and Mr. Simple will not jump into his orb. Instead, Jay's just going to suck off a little bit of damage from the Night Stalker. Only gets 19, but he had a lot of TP support coming in, so they didn't want to go on him. His Dig will kick a rock forward. This Night Stalker continues to roam around, pinging out the fact that there's a double stack on the pull camp. He's got another 30 seconds left on the nighttime. Maybe he's thinking about going on mid, as Jay's actually going to back quite a bit in lane. Is he going all the way back? I'm not really sure what he's doing. No, he's just waiting for his creep wave. I'm just going to move up with it, but he's going to be exposed here. If he comes down that ramp, he could be in trouble. We got another 10 seconds on nighttime, as they're going to look to go on here. Yeah, Worders there as well. They're going to get the Dream Coil, the slow. They've got way more than they need here, but it's going to be enough to get a very valuable kill on that mid lane Razor right before the 8-minute mark, right before it becomes daytime.
Radiant's middle tower
So once
is
again,
under
good
attack.
rotation coming up from SGR from their two supports. Showstoppers managed to get up to 20 CS on this offlane Queen of Pain, getting close to level 6, sitting at level 5.5 right now. Earth Spirit sitting at 4.5. And look at the damage. Oh, jeez, so much damage. That's got to be level 4 now as well. And this is where FNMDX can get a little bit more confident as they get to the fights, because Zing has just picked up a Blink Dagger. So they've got that initiation from the Slargar, so we can jump in, get a crush off, and then the Queen of Pain, once she hits 6, which, like I said, is getting pretty close, then they're going to have certainly the burst damage needed to set it up. And they're actually going to go for a kill in the bottom lane, which is interesting, trying to exploit the fact that L is just short of level 6. But they've got to be close. Just a couple more creeps here, and he will hit 6. And immediately, recognizing the fact that Queen of Pain had to go back to Fountain, he came in TPing to the bottom lane, and L just playing it very, very safe. Staying back, recognizing the fact that Zing also had his Blink Dagger up.
Tower is under attack.
So that play was possible. Just showing really good restraint there from the Abaddon. You see a lot of these offlane Abaddons playing super hyper aggressive, just running at their opponents, and that's how you play it. That's how it works. But you gotta know when to realize when those opportunities are to run at your opponent, and when you have to kind of back and play a little bit more reserved, because, well, you're an offlaner. We got a smoke here from FNMDX as they're going to try to go on the Gyro, who was TPing out, and then he canceled it. Zing actually missed the crush, but they don't need it. The call-down's going to deal a bunch of damage to FNMDX, but Jay is going to get the last hit there as the Gyrocopter goes down. And where were the supports? Looks like the Night Stalker had made a rotation towards the mid lane, and we had the Shadow Shaman in the middle of the jungle. I'm not sure exactly where he was, but they'd rotated away from the Gyro, and FNMDX, they sensed it, and they went for the kill on the Gyro, and it worked out for him. Speaking of the Night Stalker, he's just now hitting level 5, but he's got 1,500 gold. So saving up that much gold, probably going to be going for a Midas as his first item. He does have enough for the recipe right now, but certainly no reason to purchase it just yet. But now he's just going to do a little stacking in the jungle. We are at 11 minutes, so getting close to their next nighttime. As Nadas come down to the bottom lane to get some farm.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Still just that 1 point in rocket barrage. He has gone for that max homing missile, 2 points in flak. And you definitely need to start maxing that flak. I'm not really a big fan of this build, but it did work for him in the top lane. Will they be able to keep going with it as we get a little bit further in? I'm going to switch over to the net worth, and we can see that he's actually only third on the net worth. His number one's going to be that Razor, who is absolutely dominating the puck, but puck actually catching back up. But uh-oh, here we go. Here's the gank coming in as Zing going to jump in, get a crush on it too. L getting quite low, but they will proc the borrowed time, and then they'll actually get healed all the way up to full. He'll Ephotic shield himself, which will keep him alive for a little bit longer, long enough for them to get Zing down. But Mr. Simple, he's going to have to run away, as now the Night Stalker, he's coming from behind, as he's going to get caught. It just switches to nighttime. A little bit too late for him there. It's triple kill for the Queen of Pain, and that is exactly what Showstopper needed. He didn't get a lot in the top lane, but now look at the net worth. He's already number 3. He's actually past the gyrocopter on the back of that. That's how important those first engages are, and that's one of the things that is really strong about the gyrocopter. He's really strong at those first engages, and we just didn't see it work out for SGR. That immediate blink in and crush, the double crush from Zing, was just absolutely huge for them. They were able to catch both heroes right here. The Abaddon was a little bit lower and the gyro's up top, but that allowed them to then just burst down that gyrocopter. And yeah, they ended up healing, getting the Abaddon low and then healing him back up to full, but it didn't matter. They had enough damage to follow it up afterwards. As the gyro was going for this bottom tier 1 tower, and they'll glyph it, and now they'll try to engage her as Dig. Uh-oh, he's gone down instead. The deny is unfortunately missed by Showstopper. As he attacks it, leaves it with just a fraction of its HP. So last hit will actually go to the creeps. As SGR gets a good amount of gold there, and there's that Midas already completed by the Night Stalker. Mr. Simple's got his blink. Abaddon's got the phase and the robe of the Magi. Warder's got his arcanes and another 400. Looks like we're going to have drums getting picked up first by Nada to follow up on his treads and Aquila. As for Showstopper, still hasn't spent that large amount of gold he got from the triple kill, sitting at 1,500 gold. Jay has gone treads, Aquila, and looks like drums are going to be his choice as well, as he just needs the robe of the Magi to complete that. Dig, arcanes for him. We got tranquils and just your typical support stuff for the Lich, and of course that blink dagger that we saw Zing pick up, but hasn't really made much progress in terms of gold since then. But look at this, we got SGR going into Roche Pit and FNMDX. They know exactly what is up, as here we go, they're going to jump on in. Serpent Wards are already down though, but they just blow up the Night Stalker. Shadow Shaman soon to fall after. Nada tries to TP out, they don't have an interrupt for him, so he will successfully get out, but his entire team is dead. Roche is going to be dead as well, as it's going to be an Aegis for FNMDX unless these hero Serpent Wards manage to do something crazy. But they don't. They instead get farmed up. As Roche drops, Aegis on the deck, as Showstopper will eventually pick it up, and there we go. So huge rotation there from FNMDX after a pretty risky play from SGR, trying to go for that Roche. FNMDX, they knew exactly what was up. I'm not sure if they were reading the map, or maybe they just didn't smoke in. I think SGR would have smoked in, but this observer ward was placed as they went in, so it wouldn't have been there to spot them out, unless maybe this observer ward spotted that rotation. I'm not really sure, but they definitely knew. Probably just from reading the map that Roche was happening. But a good read from FNMDX. After, like I said, a little bit of a risky play from SGR. They get punished for it, and unfortunately it's plays like those that can really hurt you early on in the game. They had a great start, they had a great laning phase. The last fight didn't, or 2 fights ago now, didn't really work out for them. Then they ended up rotating down, still taking the tower, so that worked out. They got a kill in the process as well, but then they went for that risky play on Roche, tried to risk it for the biscuit, and unfortunately didn't work out for them. So now they're going to be a little bit behind, and let's actually take a good look at our net worth, as we see that's that last fight. That's that risky play at Roche. They had about a 1,500 gold lead. They lose it. And now it's almost 2,500 gold the other way.
Where's my pension?
So we'll actually bring up the XP as well. Just over 5,000 XP in favor of FNMDX as well. We got a big grouping of heroes in the mid lane. Either side having 4 in the mid lane, and then we've got the gyrocopter farming up one of the camps close by, so he'd be able to jump in and participate. His TP just slightly on cooldown, but it'll be up before we actually see an engage. The Queen of Pain up in the top lane. Once again, TP just was on cooldown there, but it's up now. So if anything does happen, both those heroes will be able to TP in and join. But we've got Abaddon now, made a rotation down towards the bottom. Doesn't have a TP, he'll run and get one from the side shop.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
As FNMDX threatens to push this mid-tier 1. Werder hiding in the trees, does have Serpent Wards up.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
In fact, everyone's got their ultimates available for this fight. We'll continue to have Mr. Simple just throw orbs to deal some damage to the creep waves, but now he's got no mana, he can't do anything. So it looks like they'll just sacrifice this tier 1 tower, they'll glyph it to buy them a little bit of time, but they're just getting some farm in the bottom lane, buying a little bit of time for their gyrocopter. While this is going on, that tier 1 tower is getting pushed, but also in the top lane, Showstar is just farming away, so FNMDX basically farming 2 lanes compared to SGR just farming 1 while that's going on, so not really sure if that was maybe the best trade for them, but it's difficult when there's an Aegis on the other side. You don't really want to fight full 5-on-5s because it's not really a 5-on-5, it's a 5v, 5.5, 6, because that second life that the Queen of Pain's going to have. So they're definitely setting something up here on the slaughter, and it's going to be very difficult for them to engage there. That's why you need a Blink Dagger up on the Shadow Shaman to engage, but unfortunately they didn't have that there, so now they'll unfortunately miss that engagement, and then they'll back away. Zing was actually charging forward for them to potentially get a kill there, but the Serpent Wards immediately switched. Good micro there coming out from Werder. Dream Coil will be cast in the top lane as it's going to trap Jay and Monster. They'll be in it for the duration of a call down as well, as Dig going to roll on forward onto the puck. The orb will actually finish off the Razor. Monster going to try to TP out. I think he should be fine. Indeed he will. But now Dig, are you going to be fine? It doesn't look like it. He is going to go down. Nada's going to be able to get the kill here. Never mind. Mr. Simple blinks on in, takes it. His FNMDX stays maybe a little bit later than they should have in the top lane, as they're going to lose 2. The Lich luckily gets out alive there, so he is in the 3rd. But this game pretty much going very back and forth. Definitely anyone's game at this moment. We do still have that Aegis up on the Queen of Pain. It's probably going to be up for another 2 minutes. I'm not sure exactly the timing. In fact, I can cheat and kind of look there.
Middle tower
but, so we do have that on the side of FNMDX, and it'll be interesting to see if they're going to look to push with it, or maybe it's just something that they just want to sit back and say, you know what, we've got the Aegis. You're not going to want to fight us 5v5, so the Aegis will allow us to just kind of farm and take better positions on the map and just get slightly ahead. But unfortunately, when you're not grouping, that leads to potential of getting some heroes picked off, and we just saw them lose 2 heroes in the top lane. As for item progression, we do have the Aghanim Scepter completed by the Queen of Pain. Slaughter's got his Blink, and he's also picked up an Ogre Club. The Earth Spirit has completed his Urn, up to another 300 gold. We've got the makings of an Aether Lens for the Lich. He just needs the Ring of Health. So another 800 gold for him. And looks like Razor is going to be going for BKB, as he's got the Ogre Club and Mithril Hammer. Now we hop over to our Dire side as, there we go, Mr. Simple's all the way up here. He's got the Blink, the Boots of Travel, and now he's picked up a Staff of Wizardry, probably building into a Yule Scepter, as that makes Puck practically unkillable. Shadow Shaman, still just sitting at about 300 gold. I'd like to see him get closer and closer towards that Blink Dagger, but he may choose not to go for it and go for an Aghanim Scepter instead. As for Abaddon, still just phase drums, as that's actually their second drums, as we've got drums up on Gyrocopter. But getting more than one pair of drums isn't the worst thing in the world. It's just a really good, efficient item when it comes to stats. The issue is you need to be using those charges early on for me to really see a lot of value in it. And unfortunately, that's one of the things that I see not really used as much as it could be, is those charges on the drums. But it does give you that stronger presence in the team fights earlier on in the game. So not too surprising that we're seeing them getting picked up here. And we're going to have a headdress added on for the Abaddon as well. And here comes the Gyrocopter as Nada TP's over. As we've got a grouping here from SGR. Nada has those drums that we were just talking about, and an Ogre Club, and an 1,000 gold. So it may just be building towards a BKB. Probably not the SNY, as I would have expected him to buy some of the other components and complete that Sanj. As typically you also want to build the Belt of Strength probably before you complete your Yasha, and then you build the Sanj. But who knows? Every player's got their own little way of playing the build. As it doesn't look like this smoke is going to pan out for SGR, as well, maybe FNMDX is going to walk right into it. As Zing's going to walk in, his smoke's going to get popped. He's going to jump where he thinks they are is a blind jump, but he won't catch anyone. As Mr. Simple's going to jump on in. Dream Coil going to be on several heroes, as we're going to lose Lich to start things off. The Queen of Pain also goes down, as Dig very, very low won't be able to TP out. FNMDX loses 3 here. They might lose even more. Homing Missile's going to catch the Razor. Zing going to jump away. I don't know why I said his name twice. It's just Zing. It's the Dig effect. As Jay's going to go down there. FNMDX loses 4. SGR, they only take a little bit of damage.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Huge fight for them.
Radiant's bottom tower.
So the smoke that I was thinking might not work out for them ends up working out and paying dividends, as FNMDX actually smoke and move into their own jungle.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
And then that huge Dream Coil from Mr. Simple just catches them out.
Radiant's
and we lose the Queen of Pain early on in the fight. No Aegis.
Radiant's bottom barracks.
Rock's gonna get kicked here. Chain Frost's gonna bounce around. It's actually gonna come back to the Night Stalker and hit him twice late in the bounces there, and then he's gonna get blown up by the Sonic Wave. Zing wants more, but no, he's gonna think better of it and head back to his team, as SGR and the remaining members of SGR are gonna TP out and just kind of go back to farming, get their HP up. As they just lose the Night Stalker there, so it's not the worst thing in the world. He's actually making some good headway towards completing his Aghanim Scepters. He's got both the Staff of Wizardry and the Ogre Club, and then another 400 gold. So getting close. 1,800 gold to complete that. As wow, Shadow Shaman actually going with neither of the 2 items I was expecting. He's going to go with an Aether Lens as well. A great item for him as well. I'm still kind of getting used to Aether Lens and who really benefits the most from it. I still think a lot of players are picking Aether Lens up on heroes that might not need it as much, and maybe they could go after some of their more core items. I do think it's quite strong on the Shadow Shaman though, so definitely not calling out Werder on that item pickup. But I'm a huge fan of the Blink Dagger, and I'd love to have seen it as giving them some more initiation, allow him to better position himself in the fights. But Aether Lens kind of gives him a little bit of that as well. Jay completed his BKB, as we're going to see Nada also complete his on the Gyrocopter.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Darkness going to get popped. So SGR has a huge vision advantage here. Oh, Night Stalker, you're in trouble, buddies. He just ran right into the tower and he got blown up. As Dig's also going to get blown up. So a hero dead on either side. Both BKBs, fresh BKBs, popped by the Razor and the Gyrocopter. As Gyro's just using it to run away, as the Shadow Shaman Werder just gets focused down. Chain Frost's going to slow down the Abaddon. Borrowed Time already propped, and that's not going to save him as he goes down. As SGR now loses 3, and FNMDX walks away with no deaths. This game very much back and forth. We take a quick look at our show fight recap, and we see that that team fight was about a 1,900 gold swing for FNMDX, as They just lose the one hero in the Earth Spirit, which did buy back, so that does skew it a little bit. But SGR loses those 3 heroes. That's going to hurt them a little bit more, but we might even see a solo kill here as Mr. Simple jumps on in. Just barely not able to finish off that slaughter. If he had Dream Coil, that would have been a sure kill. But it was still on cooldown for another 25 seconds. As now he's going to jump up to the top lane, use that Yule Scepter to toss Showstopper up in the air. As Mr. Simple will not get the last hit on the tower. In fact, Showstopper doesn't either. It's the catapult. But Showstopper, oh, he will be able to blink into the trees, but not going to be able to TP away because 1, he didn't have one, and 2, because the call down was there. So Showstopper going for a little bit of a risky play to get that top tier 1 tower. He doesn't get it, his creeps do. But the important part was that it wasn't denied. But unfortunately, it does cost him his life. As we'll quickly bring up our gold graph and see the effects of that last fight. As FNMDX losing a lot prior to... sorry, that was the one big fight in favor of SGR. The last fight that we saw in the mid lane where FNMDX got the 3 kills there, and they lost their Earth Spirit but bought him back. That's the swing here. And then we're seeing it going a little bit more in SGR's favor as they got that kill on the Queen of Pain. Zing pretty close to completing his BKB, sitting at 1100 gold, just needs a recipe.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Saw Mr. Simple use that Yule Scepter. He's now going towards an Aghanim Scepter. He's got his point booster. Speaking of Aghanims, we've got it completed on the Night Stalker. Won't give him any benefit right now, because it's daytime, but you can always pop the darkness if needed. Just the Vlads on the Abaddon. Besides that, nothing else new. Mr. Simple doing a lot of split pushing for his team. As FNMDX looks like they're really just sitting back and waiting. They want this BKB complete on the Slaughter, giving them the farm in the jungle here. Dig up to another 900, so interesting to see what his next item is going to be. Still getting used to seeing a lot of Earth Spirit, and we've seen some very different builds. For Jay's up to 2,500, almost 2,600 gold on the Razor. Look at this, they're even going to sacrifice their mid-tier 1 tower.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
As the Slaughter will now just finish his BKB, and it's going to be flying. Oh, it actually just flew in and completed. FNMDX should be ready to fight now. We've got an Ogre Club getting picked up by Showstopper, recognizing the fact that he's going to need a BKB of his own. It's going to be a little ways before he's going to complete that. In fact, I completely read that wrong as he purchased one of the components and I didn't notice. I was going to say he needs about 1,600 more gold, but apparently he had it as his BKB gets completed. So FNMDX will look to push out this bottom lane because this guy, he's the next big target on the map. It's the Roshan. As both teams kind of checking around it, we actually just saw Zing blinking on Slaughter and stun, expecting SGR to be in there, and they were close. They were hanging out in the up around here, but didn't actually commit to going into the Roche pit. As maybe they learned their lesson from last time. But they do have that dire side advantage, so they have the easier access to Roche. Even though we've had some map changes, it's kind of evened it out a little bit. I still think it's a little bit easier for Dire, but Radiant's got their own advantages as well, so I don't think it's really that unbalanced. Top rune's going to be an Arcane rune. Is this L going to grab it, or is he going to leave it? The puck's pretty far away, so L will probably just snag that. So Blink Dagger going to be picked up by the Night Stalker. They'll look to cut down a bunch of these wards, which, frankly, they're very, very defensive. We've got another one in the mid lane. That'll be a valuable one for Dire side to get rid of. The one in the jungle, also pretty valuable ward for them to get rid of. This one, not so much. It definitely helps keep Radiant side safe as the Dire tries to push the tier 2, but I'm not really sure if that's #1 on SGR's priority list right now. We'll just kind of go and push that top tier 2 tower, just kind of tickle it, and then back away, not really committing. As L and Nada will be the only ones showing. FNMDX just has 3 heroes up here. They're trying to play it safe,
Radiant's
though.
top
They do
tower
have
is under attack.
their Slardar close by, as he's actually making rotation up. And the Queen of Pain's down in the bottom. As Zing's actually going to jump forward. We're going to have the TP in from Showstopper on the Queen of Pain. All the BKBs get activated. Sonic Wave going to do a ton of damage. Warder just sitting there, channeling the Shackle onto Dig Dig, but they're not able to finish him off. Night Stalker runs on in, finishes off the Lich, then he'll get a kill on the Earth Spirit. As Jay's going to try to bring down L here, but he's juking in the trees. He can't find him. Instead, they'll find the kill on that Night Stalker, and that means the gem's going to change hands. As FNMDX do end up just trading 2 for 2, but the gem does go their way, so that's not going to show up here in a show fight recap. But add another 900 gold in favor for FNMDX. We can see that that's more like a 1400 gold swing than the gold swing that we're seeing right now. So this game, 15-16 right now, 31 minutes in. The gold graph has been up and down, still in favor of SGR. But as we get later and later into the game, these small gold leads, 3,000, 4,000 gold, they're really not that significant. But we take a look at the XP, and that kind of tells the story of how close we are right here. As we're right hovering around that 0, that even mark. But the one big differentiating factor is this. The melee racks in the bottom lane down. It is dead, and this range rack 7 HP. Oh, it'd be so easy for them just to jump in and one-hit that racks, but you gotta commit pretty hard for it with one hero. That will certainly help SGR's lanes keep pushing in the bottom. AC is going to get picked up by the Razor. As they continue to use that gem to look for wards. As we're going to have a Buckler getting picked up by Dig Dig, which is going to be a very, very late mech if he chooses to complete it. We also have a Plate Mail picked up by Showstopper. With the AC already on the Razor, expect that to be a Shiva's Guard. Eagle Song getting picked up by the Gyro. So he's going to go after the Butterfly, which means expect an MKB probably to be in the minds of the heroes of FNMDX. Magnum's completed on the puck. He's up to another 2,900 gold. Maybe Sheep is his next item? Maybe? I don't know. Probably Sheep. Aghanim's in the work for the Abaddon. And that should pretty much everyone on the Dire side is now. They're going to smoke up and they're going to work their way into the Radiant jungle. Are they going to find anyone? Looks like the closest is Showstopper in the bottom lane, and here they come. Are they going to be able to engage on him before he's able to blink? And the answer is yes. Werder, with that increased range from the Aether Lens, is going to lead with the Hex onto Showstopper. As he goes down, it's a very valuable kill for them. No buyback available on the Queen of Pain. This is a huge opportunity for SGR as Zing jumps forward with the BKB, gets a crush on it too, but Monster's going to go down. Jay comes in trying to help out, but they get that range racks, and now are they just going to back away? Looks like it. As they get 2 kills, they get the range racks, the pings are coming out. Go to Roche, says Werder. And that's exactly what they're going to do, and with another 30 seconds on both the Queen of Pain and the Lich, it looks like it's going to be a free Roshan for SGR. They're taking their time getting here, but they're going. I promise. There we go. They work into the Roche pit. Actually, didn't even have to use Serpent Wards in that fight. And they're probably going to use it here, although I don't think it was really necessary. But Roche will go down. Who will pick it up? I'm expecting it's going to go on the gyrocopter again. And yeah, he's going to drop his stick on the ground. He'll pick up the Aegis as Roche goes down for the second time of this game. So no cheese yet. Next we'll have the cheese. But man, we saw the effect of that Aether Lens as Werder ran in and got that hex off. Man, that seemed like so far away. I swear it seemed like way longer than that.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
But he found it. Is that butterfly getting completed by the gyro? So he's going to be a lot stronger in this next fight than he was in the previous. He's going to have that butterfly completed, plus he's going to have a second life. Now we're even having boots of travel picked up by the Night Stalker. 2,600 gold on the Slaughter. I wonder what his next item choice is going to be. We've got the Hedgers picked up by the Earth Spirit. He's sitting at 400. So about another 500 before he's going to have the mech completed. Everyone just kind of staying together. We still haven't seen Mr. Simple spend any gold. 5,100 right now.
Silence.
I'm really surprised he hasn't just ditched his bottle and picked up what he needs for the sheep stick. I really think that's what it's going to be. He did just purchase something. It's probably the Void Stone. Yep, Void Stone on the courier for Mr. Simple. He's in at 4,500, 4,600. He's getting close. As it does very much look like it's going to be Sheepstick. He's going to sell his bottle here. There we go. That should give him enough. As the courier is just going to have to deliver that item, and then he'll be able to purchase it at the secret shop. Oh, this is a huge moment for SGRs. Oh no, we're going to have another pause. A Blink Dagger completed by the Puck. We have the Aghanim Scepter completed by the Abaddon. Oops. By the Abaddon, and we've got the Gyrocopter with that newly acquired Butterfly and Aegis. There's a huge point in the match for SGRs. They're going to have, they're going to be much stronger in this fight than they were in previous ones. As for FNMDX, what do they have new coming out? They got 2,100 gold on the Razor. They still don't have this Aether Lens completed by Monster, as he's had some really slow item progression there, as he's been kind of caught out to start out the early fights. As for Zing, he's still just holding on to that 2,700 gold. Dig is at 500, so only gotten about 100 gold since we last checked in towards that mech. Showstopper, 1,800, still not completed that Shiva's Guard. So this is a moment where I really feel like SGR has some strength, and the next team fight, if it comes soon, FNMDX could be finding themselves up against the ropes. But SGR, are they going to make a move with this? They've got a couple heroes already up in the top lane. Werder was just kind of hiding in the trees here for a bit. He was the one who called for the pause, though. We got Night Stalker farming up this easy camp, so he should be close by. And Abaddon also just ran up here. So it looks like we are going to see a committal for the tier 2 in the top lane. We do resume.
Silence.
Mr. Simple just going to go wipe out the mid creep wave. Keep that pushing. FNMDX, they've already read the map. They know what's going on. They made a rotation towards top. But they're not going to fight a very, very crucial fight on that tier 2. So it'll go down for free. Instead, they're just going to defend their high ground. Which might mean SGR is going to rotate for the mid tier 2 and take that as well. No, they want to go high ground. Still not. It's kind of harassing stuff, but there we go. There's the committal as Mr. Simple jumps on in, as he's going to get a Dream Coil onto a few of them, but BKBs get popped. The Lich is going to be the first one to go down again. Queen of Pain goes down soon after. The buyback coming up from Showstopper. We still have another 2 minutes left on this Aegis, so they're not going to be able to wait it out. That Gyrocopter, they're going to have to go through two lives on them. As this Night Stalker just kind of zoning them, forcing them back. Tier 3 is down. The racks are starting to take a beating. These Serpent Wards doing a lot of damage to those structures. As Jay is going to get hexed up. Now he's going to get caught in the shackle. Dig getting very, very low. In fact, he will tick out. In fact, no, never mind. It's the flat cannon that gets it from Nada. As then he'll even be able to right-click down Zing. And Zing's going to have to buy back. Showstopper going to go down. Die back for the Queen of Pain. As this could be it. SGR dominating in this team fight. As Werder, he's always finds a way to just be standing there channeling a shackle and not get interrupted. His team just able to make use of that CC that he's providing them. As Zing, he just bought back. It's going to be a dieback for him as well, as we may to see FNMDX tap out here. Nada's going to go down, but that's just the first death. He's got another whole life thanks to that Aegis. As Jay's dead, Monster, the only one left alive. Dig is going to be up in a couple seconds, but Monster goes down. Good game will get called, as Showstopper and the boys of FNMDX will tap out as they get eliminated from the second America's qualifiers in the round of 32. But a great game. There was a lot of back and forth. This is not going to give us... I always look at it a little too late there with the gold graph. But yeah, we saw a lot of up and down. But in general, this seemed like San German Rejects, they had a little bit of an edge. And despite going for that very, very risky Roche early on in the game and getting caught out by FNMDX, which was a huge turning point in the game, they found a way to kind of pull it back. And they won some fights. Then they lost a fight. But then they... For the most part, they were winning some fights, making some good rotations. FNMDX had a couple good rotations of their own, but in the end, it just didn't work out for them. And SGR, during that pause, I was talking about how they were going to have a huge, strong moment. They just kind of all hit their stride. They just pick up some really important items for them. And FNMDX were kind of sitting there close to their items, but that big team fight happened. And all that gold was actually spent on buybacks, and it still wasn't enough for them. So FNMDX will say goodbye to them, as SGR will advance to our next round. I'll look and see if we're actually going to follow them into the next round, as I believe they would be playing up against the winner of Elite Wolves, which we assume is going to be Elite Wolves. But I'll take a quick look at our brackets here, but I believe that's what it's going to be. I'll try and see if I can hop into that lobby, as we've got, yeah, SGR versus Elite Wolves. Elite Wolves beat Illusion. So we'll try and catch that one, as I'm going to throw it to music here and take a quick little break as we wait for the lobby to get hosted. But once again, guys, thanks for joining. I was Niz. Make sure you hit that follow button so you can tune in for more coverage of the America's qualifiers, and even the America's main qualifiers as well, which I'll be casting. But yeah, that's going to do it for me for this game, as we're going to throw it to music. We'll be back in just a few minutes with hopefully SGR versus Elite Wolves.